So, hello, welcome everyone. Great that you're joining us. This is LIBER AI Pulse number 4, organized by the AI Task Force of LIBER, and we will explore the intersections of AI and OER. And my name is Tamara, and with me today are Jörg and Paola, and we are all part of the LIBER Working Group Educational Resources. And today we will talk about the intersections of AI and OER. Before we actually start with the presentations, I would like to ask you 3 questions, and we will start with the first question for you. So should be up in a second. So yeah, here's your first question. Do you work with or offer OER at your institution? And the focus here in this question is OER. The second question is, do you work with or experiment with AI at your institution? So here, the focus of this question is AI. After the second question, the third question would be, do you have any ongoing projects at the intersection of OER and AI? And if you do, please share your experiences in the chat. If you have any projects, any activities at this intersection of OER and AI. Now I think the second poll is up. So if you can quickly answer this question. And anyway, you can also start using the chat to share your own projects or activities. And if the projects have a URL, a website, please feel free to share this as well. All right. From what I can see here, from the answers coming in, many people had either OER activities or AI activities, but the intersection, that's not as many as with the other two. As we only have a little time left, I will move on and hand over to Jörg. And Jörg is assistant professor of business administration at Karlstad Business School in Sweden. And both Paola and Jörg have some experiences from the last couple of years in the intersections of AI and OER. And so Jörg will start with his experiences and a couple tools. Okay, I'll hand over to you, Jörg.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks everyone for writing in the chat. We will share some links also. And yeah, I try to keep an eye on the chat while we talk. And thanks for sharing so much already. So here, one possible intersections of and use for OER and AIs. So this is work in progress, which we do at Karlstad University in Sweden. I'll quickly walk through what we're doing. So we're trying to create digital sovereign chatbots, which our teachers can create and power them potentially with OERs and integrate them in the learning management system or VLE. Like in Sweden, we use Canvas, or others use Moodle to get the teacher in the loop. why would we do this, and why is this important? Well, a lot of our universities around the world have a problem that we do not have the throughput, so to speak. We would like to increase more students to learn what they're supposed to, and with lesser and lesser resources. So one of the major things since 1984 here, from this very influential paper from Benjamin Bloom here, is that tutoring, one-on-one tutoring is great for learning, right? This is a basic concept and common knowledge. If we could provide one-on-one tutoring to students, then they learn in an order of magnitude better, quicker, and get into what they're supposed to be learning. Well, in our universities, in Sweden at least, but around the globe, we don't have the luxury to have one tutor per student, obviously. So with the upcome of chatbots and large language models, there was renewed interest in a long ongoing struggle, so to speak, or idea. If we could now provide AI chatbots for our students, could this increase learning with the resources we have? And there is some evidence that under the right circumstances and with the right design of those AI tutors and chatbots, you can increase learning of students. There's also evidence in those papers here referenced, and hopefully we have the links already in the chat, that well, if you don't design them pedagogically sound, then students just offload their thinking and copy and paste results and don't learn. So you really have to design them carefully. And what they really, those systems are, and just a quick question for you, also for you to answer in the chat. Are you familiar with GPTs in OpenAI, for instance? If you are, this is basically, yes, Sama, everyone. So chatbots you can customize yourself, which will be stored then in a way that you and others can interact with. This is the basic idea with this, and customize the general models in a sound pedagogical way. So we are not the first with this idea. Colleagues in Australia have come a long way. Yes, exactly. Thank you for the link here for you in the chat. Cogniti.
Jörg, I think you have to speed up a little bit.
Yes, I will. Yes, they are coming a long way. The problem with all these and others around, many of these are building their systems on American and outside Europe sources and services. So we thought, how can we build this, and can we build this system which is digital sovereign? And we can, and we did already. So what we do is we connect our learning management system through the LTI adapter through to a WordPress multi-site. And then we have a Sweden-based local inference structure where the chatbot as such lives. It's a private company which provides large language models which are hosted on their computers, LLM inference. So what we do then is we provide a chat for the entire system, a system prompt, and our teachers can customize them there for their courses. And on top of this, we use open educational resources in order to make the answers even better. So and this is how it looks like for the teacher view. It's you recognize maybe Canvas, for those of you who know it, 4 steps in order to create your chatbot. I show you quickly the student view. This is where they can interact with it. and no data leaves Sweden in our case here. We wrote a paper about it. You saw it in the link to the webinar. Also, if you want to read more about it, I will not go into much more detail. But just because this is about the intersection of AI and OERs, just a few words where you can find OER, those of you who are maybe not so familiar with this. In Sweden, we just recently released this national platform for OERs, grena.nu. We built this on the German one, a German hosted Open Educational Research Search Index, ERSI. So ERSI.org, you can find the same stuff and get in touch and find hundreds or almost 100,000 OERs from higher education. There's another intersection of OERs and AI separate to this, and just a quick mention, this is a company called Scylla. They use knowledge graphs similar to what was mentioned in the chat probably before. How can we identify OERs based on more data from the syllabi? Just another word, if you wanted to build something yourself and you don't want to access a Swedish company, we in Sweden have a Swedish AI factory, and in your country there is also a possibility to cooperate with AI factories sponsored by the European Commission. And in the link you find more chats, more links to local AI interference systems if you don't want to work with third countries' infrastructure and keep it digital sovereign. If you want to hear more about it and what is going on in the months to come here in Karlstad, working with this, we're piloting this right now with selected teachers and courses to really also investigate this research-based in trials to assess the efficacy of those AI tutors. We hopefully be able to release also the source code publicly, but this is turns out a little bit more difficult question internally at our university. We might also commercialize this in order to get access for colleagues and universities who don't have a WordPress multi-site. And if you want to hear more about it, join us in Helsinki in 2 weeks at the TNC 26 or get in touch. So this was some dense information about AI tutors and OERs. Sorry for the rush, but yeah, get in touch if you want to hear more about it. One intersection about AI and OERs. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Jörg. Thank you. And if you have any questions or comments for Jörg, please use the chat, and I will hand over directly to Paola. Paola Corti is a senior open education expert at SPARC Europe, and so yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tamara, and thank you, Jörg, for everything that you shared and the work that you are doing with experimenting. The focus of this second part of our webinar is on transparency in using AI tools. Since the focus is on OER, one of the values of open educational resources is being transparent about both the permissions that the authors decide to leave to the audience in order for them to reuse and adapt those educational resources for the benefits of different audiences. Part of this ethos is about being transparent about who created the resources and which permissions are granted to reusers. To continue the work, now that we have at our disposal more tools and without any kind of judgment in this setting about who chooses to use AI and generative AI tools for what, the focus is now on being transparent on that from 2 different angles. Okay, one of them is as a first, if I can use my own, okay. As a first, when you are using AI as a co-creation tool, and the invitation that we are sharing with you today is about using labels to be extremely transparent about how you are using AI as a co-creation tool. And Fontys University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands recently published these me and my machine labels that are very easy to use, very easy to add to your educational resources. So in case you are creating something using AI, you can be transparent about the level of use that you've been applying to your content. And this slide is, as you see, is a patchwork of things that you can find on the website. So my invitation is for both the examples that I'm providing, use the links to explore the website by yourself. This is a very easy one because the approach is very similar to using Creative Commons licenses. You download the set of icons that you can use to be transparent, and then you have these definitions. You see them on the right side of my slide. Each icon shares the level of use of generative AI tools that has been done to create the content, and you have two symbols. One is the human sweat, the drop of water, and the other one is let's say a way to represent the generative AI work. So you can do everything with generative AI, which in some context might be the best choice. We are not here to judge about that. It really depends on why you are using AI and for which learning outcomes in the case of educational resources. And in that case, you can call yourself, let's say, a lazy prompter, as you see, or when you primarily use generative AI. And depending on the grade of contribution that you are providing as authoring, the main author, then you go to the bottom of those two images, which is people work made without generative AI. In the middle, you have different nuances. This is a good way, I think, to start considering representing how you are using generative AI to create new content or to adapt that content to different audiences. It might just be an adaptation done in terms of language. So imagine considering using as a, instead of using AI as a tutor, like in Jörg examples, using AI as a companion while you are creating content for students or for students themselves when they are working on content in other languages, with all the nuances considered and your instructions as a teacher, of course. If they are using AI tools to translate from a foreign language to their own local language. This can be a personal use of AI that can also be transparently added to the outputs that students themselves create. So please take a look at these free tools to clearly state how and why you are using AI as a co-creator partner. Let's see another opportunity here to state how and why you are using AI as a pedagogical partner. And now we are moving to Petra AI, which is a very interesting tool from my perspective because my mind is shaped as the instructional designer mind. So if I think about designing new activities or adapting new activities to a different cohort of students, in my mind, AI can be a tool in the hands of the students to decide which work they can do using those tools. And it's good for me to know that as a teacher, I can not only explicitly tell my students which uses and which purposes of AI tools am I allowing them to enact, but also which uses are encouraged by me because they are very consistent with the learning outcomes that I want them to achieve through the learning activities. So in this case, even more than in the previous case, I encourage you to explore the website because for each purpose, plan, research, process and learn, create and revise. The activities that you as a teacher can envisage under these categories, for each of them, there are different actions that you can allow and or encourage for your students. Moving ahead a bit, you can also have the student side of things. And in this case, it's the student admitting and adding transparently how they have been using AI for the different purposes according to the same categories of action. So once you select what you want from this tool, you have an icon on your left that changes according to the choices that you are making. Okay, so in the image that here in my slide is just grabbed from the website, you see some examples, but this is a dynamic icon that you can then download and add either as a teacher or as a student, as a teacher to the instruction together with an activity that you want your students to perform with the support of AI or without the support of AI. And as a student, you can add your icon by stating what you use the AI for. It can also be different from what the teacher suggested. So the interesting part of this is that it really invites both the teacher and the student to be together in the learning experience and being transparent together about the use of AI. And why not? Me as a teacher, I can suggest and encourage some uses of AI. But what if a student of mine comes back to me with the homework that I assigned with a different icon, telling me that they have been using AI also for other purposes? And what if through my own students I discovered that AI can be extremely helpful in some of the activities and in ways in some of the activities that I provided and I designed or adapted from other resources provided by other creators with an open license. And then through my own students, I learn to do better next time with the next cohort of students. So this is a way, I think, for not only being transparent, but also
Paola,
to encourage active
wrap up
practice.
shortly.
Okay, yeah, I'm done. Look, I'm done. That's me.
So,
and I welcome questions.
I wanted to give you a couple of seconds, but yeah, even better. Thank you, Paola. And well, thank you all for all your questions and comments in the chat. There were already some answers, and we will have a look at all the comments and questions in the chat later on, and we'll get back to you if you didn't receive an answer right away. And there were already also ideas and suggestions that we may use and follow up on. So thank you all very much for joining us today, for your contributions in the chat. And this was the last AI Pulse before the summer break. There will be more coming up starting from September. And so you should follow the LIBER channels, the events page, the AI Pulse page, or newsletters, etc., to get updates. I also wanted to post the link in the chat of the events page, and so we hope to see you again in September.